Hey guys, Clumsy here and welcome to 1.35 experimental beta. Now for ETS2 is also available. You guys have requested and here it is. So ever since a few days ago when ATS experimental beta released, I've gotten a lot of comments, do one for ETS2, do one for ETS2. Well, we have to wait till it's there and now it's here. So here we go. Along with all the other mostly similar updates actually for ATS. There are some specific ones and I'll try to focus more on those. But the major ones are along with DirectX 11. So this is already with DirectX 11 enabled. We will check later how performance is behaving in general. So far it's looking pretty good. We are in the middle of the city. We are getting, I guess, 60 frames. Reflections are looking beautiful. We'll see in the performance later. As part of the experimental beta as well, we have new paint jobs for the DAF. You can see this paint job is part of the default, and this profile is purely vanilla, no mods whatsoever. So what you see here is part of the base game and the DLCs, and just that, no mods. Okay, so there are new paint jobs, and there is actually a combo now, the truck and trailer paint job, which we can see right there. And it's looking pretty good. And this paint job seems to be available even for the new trailers. Oh, look at that line. That looks so professional, doesn't it? I want to take this trailer just because of that. I'll probably take this one, but that looks so cool. Goodness, I'll have to take a photo of that. Aside from that paint job, the truck and trailer paint job for the DAF, you might have seen it in the ETS2 stream. The Schwarzmuller trailer is now available for purchase. So it's now possible to own these trailers. Initially, I think it was only in the freight market. There was a DLC for this. I'm assuming you still need the Schwarzmuller DLC. You need to buy that and then you'll have access to this. Correct me if I'm wrong though, but that's what I would assume. Now there seems to be a bit of a maybe there's some still experimental features being tested, some bugs, or is that by design? The border, I would have expected that to be over here on this side, on the edge, but maybe that is intended. Doesn't look too good to me though, especially if you put a paint job like the DAF. Looks a bit weird, that line covering the A. Not very aesthetically pleasing, huh? But aside from that, I'm sure that will get squashed if that is indeed not by design. But aside from that, all the other parts are looking pretty professional. So many different options here. I won't go through them in detail, but just know that you can tinker with that. And yes, the experimental beta is available to the public. You can go to your Steam library, right-click on Euro Truck Sim, Properties, Betas tab, pick the experimental beta, but be forewarned. It's an experimental beta. There will be a lot of bugs, lots of incompatibilities, and don't just expect everything to work. It will be for experiments only. Don't use your main profile on it as much as possible, and if possible, don't use any mods. Okay, that's for those who are wondering. These are my graphical settings. With DirectX 11 enabled, I can handle now 400% scaling with anti-aliasing and everything checked, everything high in ultra. You can pause the video, okay? And full screen is off, because if full screen is off, that automatically enables vertical sync, VSync, and that also allows me to alt tab. If you have problems alt tabbing, just turn off full screen mode here, and you will have those problems solved. Okay. Aside from the truck and trailer DAF paint job, the new trailers, we have a lot of map improvements. The Germany rebuild, phase 2 is now in place. I'm actually in Nuremberg, and you can see a lot of gray roads here. Those are new roads mostly. Not all, but most of them. So we're going to actually take a job from Nuremberg to Erfurt. Sorry for the pronunciation, I'm probably butchering it. But this is going to give us a good glimpse of what kind of roads there are. The Autobahnen, as you guys told me, the plural form of Autobahn. And is now also in place the updated Autobahnen in the southern Germany area. Actually, just to give a better idea, SES wrote a blog about this, a blog post highlighting the exact parts. And what I tried to do is this is a fancy word, interpolate that map with how the map in-game looks, and the result is this one. I'll tab for a bit so you guys can see the image. Wait a minute. So you'll see an image which might not be the best, but that is how it looks. So the yellow roads are the ones new in 1.35. The blue ones are the ones new in the previous version, I think 1.34 or 33 I think. And the purple ones are the pending items. So it's not laid out exactly. I mean, it's not perfectly overlaid, but it should give us a very good idea, right? Like if you can find Nuremberg there, you can see all the roads leading out of Nuremberg are yellow. So we'll be going north to Erfurt. And maybe we can check out Leipzig as well. But that's the gist, all right? You can pause the video here and take a screenshot, and then so you have a reference of your own as well. But that's basically how that looks in general. Okay? What else? What else? So many new things. And yeah, I probably will not be able to cover everything, but the major ones I hope I'm able to cover. So the trailer configuration is also now available in 1.35 experimental beta for ETS2. I'm going to call it 1.35 EB, okay? Experimental beta. If you press F7, you press enter, view services and adjustments. Now there is emergency refueling for when you run out of fuel and you're stranded in the middle of the road. You can enable that and you'll get just enough fuel for a price, just enough to get you to the fuel station, so you don't have to get towed all the way to the nearest service station. Okay, but our focus here is adjusting the trailer. In the Chronex, specifically the box liner, we have three options: 20 feet, 2x20, and 40 feet. And these were there before, these configurations, depending on the job you took, but you couldn't specify it. Now you have more of a flexibility and option. So what I mean by that is if I go to the cargo market, this is the current config we have is the shortest config, the 20 feet. And if I click on jobs, I'll see that most of the jobs are 8 tons, 3 tons, 9 tons, so single digit tonnage, yeah, so lighter load. But if I go then and change the config, instead of just 20 feet, I extended all the way to 40 feet, like so. Or if I choose 2x20, either one should be fine. I like this better, the 40 feet one. If I choose that, then immediately the trailer extends. There's no animation for it, unfortunately, but that's good enough for now. And if I go to, not that, but if I go to the market now, instead of 7, 8, 9 tons, I see 18 tons. And I'm guessing, actually didn't check the price, but you might be able to rewind and check for me. I'm assuming that should pay better. Because if you're hauling more, you should get paid more. At least that's my assumption, yeah? So it's still going to the same places, it's still carrying the same cargo, but you can take more of it now. And that's the one we're taking to check out the Autobahn there. I also wanted to highlight, on top of the upgrades, the updates to the existing Autobahn, there are 2 new ones, which was mentioned in the blog. The question is, how do I remember them? I think it's the A38, this one. Yes, and then A71. So we'll be passing through them both actually. So Nuremberg to Erfurt, we'll be passing through A71 a bit. And then we'll continue on to Leipzig, so we can check out the A38, that bit of it. And we'll get a very nice teaser. Yeah, a sampler of what things are new. Okay? What else? You guys wanted me to really highlight the wipers. I'm hoping that the wipers also work here. It was that way in ETS2. We'll check in ATS rather. We'll check in ETS2 if it's the same. So setting 1 is off. 1 tap is low. Or well, that's intermittent. Second is low. and one more is high. So there are now 3 open modes of the wipers, and that's a real game changer for a lot of people, which is quite interesting to me. I never realized the importance of the different wiper modes before, but that's good to hear, and that's going to be very helpful, especially when the heavy rains come. Right? In terms of sounds, I don't really notice any difference. I think it's still the same, so not the best in my opinion. I mean, they are pretty decent sounds, but our modders definitely do a lot better. Grishboom, EVR, Lean, they're active contributors in the SES community. In the modding community, do a great job with the sound, so I don't really have complaints with that. Okay, please don't hit that guy at the back. Let me just see. Is the trailer axle still raised? Because when the trailer config was not extended, the 20 feet only, I raised the axle. But now when I extended it to 40 feet, okay, it seems like it lowered the axle automatically. That's fine. Just so we know how it works. Alright. I'm guessing voice navigation would also be part of ETS2, but I'm not really sure. We can check out if it's in the command though. Let me just stop here for a sec. G voice. Oh, it's not. It's not. Maybe that's an ATS specific feature, because in ATS they have street names. Yeah. Unless I got the command wrong. No, but I think it's yeah, this is different. Yeah, so maybe voice navigation is an ATS only thing. Also, if you guys are wondering, detours so far are not yet here. At least no one has experienced them yet. And it's not yet in the sliders, so I don't think detours are here yet. If they're planning that for 1.35, there is still no news about it, but we will see. We will see. So keep your eyes peeled, guys, and let me know if you notice any new stuff, alright? Oh, the engine sound is a bit timid. I might try to increase it a bit. Let's do that once we reach, okay, once we do a full stop. Wow, look at that guy. Beating the red light and everything. Well, I guess he was green also on that end, but that was an unprotected left turn. So he just was pretty bad at estimating that I was approaching already. Let's make a left turn here. Is everybody doing a left turn? No. Okay. That's good. Yeah, it's a pretty timid engine. Pretty state of the art. Euro 6 and everything. You can make that excuse at least. Alright. Go here. Let's get that. Actually, yeah, it also has. We also have access to the external market now, which is basically World of Trucks jobs. But now they are. You can use your trailer, your own trailer. But this one we have very limited jobs available, so I'm going to stick with the cargo market for now. But that's great. That, I'm assuming, means we will be able to take the do the events, the World of Truck events, with our own trailer. We don't have to use some random trailers anymore. Let's take that. Nuremberg to Erfurt. Now, where is that thing? Did it actually trigger? No, take job. I think that was only setting the GPS a while ago. Okay, good. Alright, and let's also set the interior volume. Because right now it's 1. Usually when it's default SES, I like to put it to 3. Just so it's a lot louder. So now Yeah, it's a lot more wild. Just so you get a bit more feel that you're actually driving a truck. How about you guys? How do you usually set yours? The volume? Let me know in the comments. Let's compare notes. Just see if I'll be able to reverse in here. Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. Have enough space here. What else is new in 1.35? Toby eye tracking support. I'm not a huge fan of Toby eye tracking, although I can really see where the advantage would be. For casual, if you're playing on your own, that would be great because you don't need any device, you don't need a hat. Like I'm using Track IR, and I have a cap on, and that detects my head movement, so I can seamlessly look left and right very naturally. Toby eye tracking does something similar, but you don't need any hat or clip or any device whatsoever to wear. You can just stay as is because the Toby eye tracking will, as you guys might have guessed it, track your eyes. And it will detect where you're looking. If you've watched the ETS2 stream with the preview of 1.35, you'll see how it works. And it works quite well. It just doesn't work quite well for streamers. Okay, looking good. Container trailer extended. Beautiful. That's 18 tons of rice. Well, 17. Okay. And then let's go and check out. Yeah, that's the right path we're taking. So we'll deliver our cargo here, and then we'll maybe look for a job going to Leipzig, or if there's nothing, we'll just drive there on our own. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to stay in auto in the meantime, so we can focus on enjoying the scenery, checking the performance, monitoring the CPU and GPU utilization, watching the new sites, and all that stuff. That's my excuse for not going into manual. Did it work? Maybe not. Also keep your eyes peeled for any possible new trailers. I'm guessing there is still none, because there is going to be a new DLC that's coming soon. Maybe, I don't know, a few months from now, but I'm not sure if they're ready to release any new companies or trailers just yet, so maybe not yet. Maybe in 1.36. I thought those two guys were going to crash into each other. Yeah, performance is looking good so far. Similar to what I observed in ATS. Once I moved to DirectX 11, the CPU utilization is much more even. Although surprisingly, it's not as even as in ATS. I noticed that, okay, so for my rig, my CPU, I'm using an AMD Ryzen 5 1600, that's just a tad overclocked. I have 6 cores, and in ATS, all those 6 cores were being used evenly. Here, I have 6 cores, but in ETS2 here, I'm only 2 cores. Well, all 6 cores are being used, but 2 cores are getting like majority of the load. Like the main core is getting 60% usage, the second is getting 40, and the rest, the 4 other cores, are getting 20, 10. So they're all being used, but not that evenly, and I'm not sure why. Maybe it's the number of objects in the city. We'll see as we get to the highway if that will even out. But yeah, maybe that is one of the ways it does it. There's still a main thread, and it's not fully even. But I mean, so far, this is vanilla though. So far, performance has been very good, and the feedback has been pretty consistent. As long as people are able to enable DirectX 11, they are getting major performance improvements. Not everybody can enable it though. Look at that signage. München, Praga. Oh, I almost hit that sign. Got too confused. I got too, how do you say? Enamored or too focused. Let's just put it at that with the signs. Leaving Nuremberg. Let's see, Erfurt. I don't see it. I don't see the sign yet. But I'm guessing there are some pretty nice landmarks here. Let's have a look at how the truck looks as a whole. Not too shabby, right? Not completely matchy-matchy, but not too shabby. Let's make sure that we stick to our lane here. We go sightseeing, but we don't sacrifice safety. At least that's the goal. But with me on the wheel, it's not really a consistent thing. That guy is also carrying the same container as us. Focus on the signage. Enjoy the view. Erfurt, straight ahead. Oh man, that's pretty fast. It's actually a traffic light here, which was pretty surprising for me. I was expecting we are in an Autobahn now, but I think we're still in some, like, I don't know, side road. Erfurt ahead. I'm liking it so far though. I'm liking what I'm seeing. As I mentioned, this has no mods there. You might have remembered I made a video recently where I showcased Pro Mods 2.40 and how Germany was merged. So the best parts of what SES has done got merged with the best parts of what Pro Mods has done, and it resulted in a very, very cohesive landscape, and I loved it. And now SES is introducing more rebuilds in Germany, so I think Pro Mods will have their hands full in another merge. I've also had an opportunity to talk with Skull directly. Skull is the co-founder of Pro Mods. He went to Singapore and we were able to grab dinner, and he told me a couple of stuff. Nothing incriminating though, nothing secret, but it's just great to get his point of view and how much effort they poured in to the Pro Mods merge. And this merge that they would need to do again for 1.35, it's going to be a pretty huge effort that's going to be needed from their end. But that's pretty cool. I mean, in the end, it's going to be a win-win for everybody, because with the sites we're seeing now, goodness, yeah, it's worth the effort to merge it. I remember the old school look of Germany back from when ETS2 first released, and to be honest, I am not really liking that place. I tried to stay away from Germany as much as possible when I was driving in ETS2 before, in vanilla especially. I only drove in Germany when Pro Mods was enabled. But since the rebuild, I've been feeling braver and braver, and now with the majority of Germany having been rebuilt, I'm pretty happy, and I would pass through here every single time. And yeah, it's one of my most favorite places. You might have noticed I do a lot of Germany specific videos because I really like the Autobahnen. Even though we're not yet in an Autobahn, because this was a bit too bendy for my taste. I'm sure a lot of people like this kind of thing though. Mexico Extremo, it brings back memories. But yeah, a lot of people have been very eagle-eyed in terms of noticing the changes. A lot of people have been testing ATS, American Truck Sim Experimental Beta, very extensively, and people have been very quick to notice that when ETS2 also entered experimental beta, when it became available, people just knew it. it seemed like people were refreshing their libraries every 5 minutes or something to check if experimental beta was available. And even without a blog post, even without an announcement from SES, people already knew that the experimental beta was live. And I got even a comment in one of my videos that experimental beta is now for ETS2 as well. It's now released. So thank you for the notice. And I'm speeding. Please don't. 60 only here, but that's fine. At least we get to have a very chill drive. So we're not really able to showcase the Autobahn goodness here yet, but we can actually appreciate more the countryside feel. Farmlands, all the stuff. And one common observation is they seem to have increased the number of vegetation overall. It seems like they've also figured out a way to minimize the pop-ups or pop-ins, I think they call it. You know that thing when you're driving and suddenly a mountain just appears in front of you because there's a graphical limitation before and they couldn't show the mountain in full when it's far. Now you can see the entire mountain even from afar like that. And they're really maximizing the use of the graphics engine that they have. And SES has discovered and has mastered it, I must say. So on top of that, it seems like they are able to increase the number of vegetation as well. The trees, bushes, objects overall, I think that has increased. Because of DirectX 11, they have better performance, and with better performance, that means they can add more objects in without causing problems in frame rate for people. And that's just an amazing thing. Is that a new gas station, Gob? I don't recall seeing that brand before, but that might just be me, because I usually have some real company mod which replaces those with the real brands. So you guys let me know. I was speeding there the entire time. No one tell nobody, okay? My goodness, but this is amazing. This feels like a DLC. This is the exact thing that I want to drive in whenever I play ETS2. You know, the relaxing things like this. Relaxing views. And I like how it transitions, that sometimes you're... slow down. Sometimes you're driving through highways and really complicated intersections, and then you're going to turn off to somewhere like this, where it's more of a countryside feel. Lots of farmland, ponds, trees, forests, and just an amazing view overall. A lot of things have also changed in other map areas. There are some new rural roads in France, so I guess somehow similar to this vibe, but more French. And I love the French countryside roads. So far, I think that was my favorite countryside road layout from what I've seen in the DLCs and in the base game. But the standards are getting pretty high with this rebuild, so I'm not so sure now anymore. But yeah, look at that, just filled with bushes. Kirales would be very happy. Is this the right path? It says this is going to Frankfurt. I hope it's not leading me far away. But fine, let's trust it. Okay, but I guess we're entering the Autobahn now. You will see. We will refer to the sign. But man, look at that smoothness, huh? I'm going to keep my lights on, just to be on the safe side. Now this one is still not finished. The roads there at the back are still close to us. That might be part of the purple thing I showed earlier though. Did I hit anybody? No, that was just a loan payment. Okay, good. Okay, Erfurt. There was something there. Good. Now let's go to 80 and stick with it. There we go. Cruise control at 80. Let me lower that one bit. Pay attention to the signs. going to Erfurt, straight ahead, A71. Okay, now we are in an Autobahn, for sure. Now, the entire landscape changed. From a chill countryside driving experience, now we get that full highway, high speed for a truck action. Yeah, and the signage is complete. This is pretty cool. Was this done by Mandelsoft? I think it was. In case Mandelsoft is listening or is watching, or if you know Mandelsoft, please give him a huge thank you. Or if but yeah, a huge thank you to the entire SES team, whoever was responsible for this, because this just ups the level. This just ups the game. This now feels so real. I remember before when ETS2 was starting, most of the roads felt very similar. And then when I was driving through ProMods 2.40 a couple of weeks ago, I was really feeling a difference when in which country I'm at, because the signs would look different, the interchanges would look different, it would feel different, and I would often get lost because the signages were very different, and I was not so used to it. But that's exactly what I'm looking for, you know, when you're in a different country, yet you actually feel it. And with this rebuild, as part of the base map, as part of the base game, you also get that feeling now. It's not just generic roads, they're actually specific junctions that are unique to each country. The signs are accurate, just the attention to detail is insane. That guy had no choice, but he's smart enough to stop. Yes, so this is definitely a huge win for us, and I just thank SES for this level of effort. You know, this is free. Everything that we're seeing now is will be part of the 1.35 update, and 1.35 is all free. So I know a lot of people have been complaining, what, no this, what, no that, still no this, no that, and yeah, a lot of things are still missing. I know there's a huge wish list from people being able to go down the truck and all that stuff, but as Alex put it, at this point, whatever we get, it's a bonus. Everything is free. These are free updates, and I mean, this level of additional content, I would gladly pay for it, to be honest. But yeah, the fact that they make this free just shows how SCS has that community-centric view. You know, it's not just about the money, it's really serving and giving back to the community, and that's what makes them so amazing. We know a couple of companies, I'm not going to name any, but I'm sure some names come to mind, who are very it's all about the money feel, right? Is that a major landmark in Erfurt? Maybe. Looks like a large cathedral. Go? Oh yeah, thank you. Right, so we'll drop it off here, and then we'll continue to Leipzig, because I haven't had enough. I want to explore more, but maybe we won't have a load then. And I think I did not go through the right entrance. Okay, that's fine. We'll make our way around, explore more of the city. I think the city itself has not been remade. This might have been in 1.33 already. If we base it on the diagram that SES shared, the cities were all in blue. So I'm assuming the cities have been rebuilt as of 1.33, and then mainly the roads have been improved and added in 1.35. At least that's how I would interpret the diagram. Let me know if you know otherwise, okay? But yeah, so far so smooth. And even though the load is not that even, still amazing overall. I'm getting slightly higher GPU utilization. I'm getting 70% on my GTX 1070 with 400% scaling and anti-aliasing. In ATS, I remember I got around 60. So a bit higher here on ETS, but still super smooth overall. Now, of course, your mileage may vary depending on your rig, depending if you can enable DirectX 11 at all. But if you can, then that's going to be amazing. Yeah, some people have reported they cannot enable DirectX 11. We're not yet sure why not. Some people have theorized that it might be because these people are in Windows 7 and maybe Windows 7 is not compatible. It should be though, so we're not really sure what causes it yet. But yeah, try it out. It's DirectX 11 will not be on by default, just like the experimental beta for ATS. You have to enable it manually, and you can go do that by going to the config file. So go to your documents folder, go to the Euro Truck Simulator 2 folder, and edit the config.cfg file. Look for r_device. The default value will be DX9. Replace that with DX11. And if that proves to be a bit confusing, you can check out one of Toast's videos. I watched one of his videos, it was amazing. He showed the features of ATS Experimental Beta 1.35, and it was a very good summary. So if you want a good summary of all the features, watch his video. If you want a chill drive, watch mine. But yeah, for all the details, he has it covered. I cannot make those good videos. I'll leave that to him. So Toast, in case you're watching, amazing job, man. Thank you for your vids. Right, there we go. Let's see if there's something that goes to Leipzig. If we're lucky. I'm never that lucky. Yes. Okay, let's see. External market, let's see if there's something here. Okay. Show nearest. If you show nearest, it goes to the external contracts, not to the external market. So these are like trailers. If you go to external market, this is with your own trailer, and that's only going to Sweden. Very limited jobs here at the moment. Bit weird, but fine. Okay, is there something that goes to Leipzig? Not really. Okay, the closest one is going to Kassel, which is going the opposite way. So we'll just drive here manually, and I'm going to share a trick with you guys. Some of you might call this cheating, depending on how you look at it, but I call it smart moves. Okay, so I want to check out that curtain cider. So I'll dismiss my trailer. I go and use that trailer. It will take 6 hours, fine. And we go in. And it's not there, right? It's also 7 p.m. Do I really want to view stuff at 7 p.m.? But I go to DevCam. Don't move, just press F9. And when you move out, and voila, your trailer is there. That looks so good, really. Can I raise the axle of the trailer? Yes, I can. Good. Yeah, so let's continue our review with this one. That will give us a nice nighttime experience. Let's go to Leipzig and uncover that as well. Okay, that looks good. 2 hours. I'm a bit hesitating, but maybe we can sleep on the road somewhere on the way. I mean, this lighting is not bad. This is sunset view. This is one of the most scenic views available. Now, I don't notice any changes in terms of weather, lighting, and stuff. The skyboxes are pretty nice, but there are some awesome mods out there that are able to do the trick much better. AKA Natural Lux, also known as foggy weather, well, or formerly known as foggy weather, I should say. Look at that view at the back there. That truck and trailer combo is just, oh, look at this. beautiful. As long as we don't hit anything. If we hit anything, it's not beautiful anymore. Yeah, that works for me. That was a very welcome treat. I just saw that in the SCS forums. Someone spotted that there was a new truck and trailer paint job, and it's just, wow, I have to try that. Because I remember this staff is my favorite when it comes to vanilla trucking. I don't know why, I just like it. DAF XF Euro 6. Slow down a bit. There we go. Yeah. This is pretty cool. I'm enjoying every bit of this. And as the days pass by, as the days go by, expect a couple more ETS2 experimental beta videos because there are a lot more places to explore. In particular, I'm pretty interested about Sardinia. Sardinia is one of the new additions in the experimental beta. It's the island, how do you say, to the west of Italy, to the main Italy area, as I would say. Sorry if my description is very inaccurate. You should get a good idea of where it is, though. It's west of Italy. It's that separate island where you can go to by taking a ferry from Palermo? I cannot remember, but they say the views are very scenic and we'll have to check it out. So stay tuned for that one. A couple of videos coming with more of the ETS2 content. Okay. Aside from that, what else is new? You can now purchase garages remotely, but there is a minimum requirement in doing so. Like in this profile, I'm level 25, but I only have 2 garages, and okay, maybe let's move back here. And I don't have that unlocked yet. Is there a random event there? Yes, there is. Please don't merge into me. Thank you. Yep, people are slowing down as always. Phew. That car was burnt to a crisp. Leipzig. A38. That's the one. The other one is also leading to A38, but the opposite side. So I guess that's the one going to... what was that job we saw? The one going to Kassel, probably. But yeah, this is so good. This is so good. Now this is the type of road I want to drive in. To be honest, the latest World of Trucks event, I was not very enthusiastic with it. As a matter of fact, I did not finish it because many of the jobs, you know, the destinations change every few days, and sometimes you had to go through areas which were really old and it looked very generic and artificial. I was not so happy driving through them, so I was not so enthusiastic in finishing them. Like there was a point. Oh, that looks so nice. That like dirt road or that trail on the right. That looks so good. That's super steep though. I wonder what drives through there. Maybe a tractor. That would have been nice, like a tractor randomly driving through there. Would be additional eye candy. Yeah, I remember driving through. There was a time when you had to deliver the truck, the racing trucks to, I think it was somewhere in Belgium, to Brussels, I think. In Brussels, in ETS2 base game is pretty old. It looks pretty generic. I did not have such fun times there. But, I mean, with this level of mapping now, entering the game, I'm sure I'll be motivated if it goes to Germany. Yeah. If the destination is Germany, I'm all in. Yeah, normally I don't go to Belgium unless I have Pro Mods enabled. Because I remember Pro Mods has an amazing Belgium area. I remember making a video before, like Belgian highways or something. It was just so wow. I remember taking a couple of photos there. Yeah, SCS is in a completely different level now. They're constantly making things more and more realistic, but at the same time they're making things more and more optimized. So it's like the best of all worlds, and it's all free. So you get best performance, you get best quality, and then you get those two for free. What more can you ask for? So yeah, I'm a bit confused when I see people really complaining and hating on SCS. I know they won't have all the features you requested in a single snap. They're not Thanos. But goodness, what they do here is just beyond me. I can ask for nothing else. Mic drop. And all that stuff. Look at that sunset at the back. Ah, beautiful. I'll have to take a photo later. Leipzig straight ahead. I wonder why that's yellow. Does that mean we're like, I don't know, leaving the Autobahn when it's yellow? I'm not familiar with German signage. We'll see though. Let's observe how the landscape changes with this yellow warning there. Leipzig Süd. That means south, right? Okay, let's keep our eyes peeled here. Night is coming, but we should be there in a bit. 21 kilometers, so it should be fine. We won't need to sleep. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that figures. And there's the sign that we are leaving the Autobahn. So that's probably what that yellow sign means. You're entering the smaller road. It's transitioning to a smaller road. Makes a lot of sense. So when you see a yellow sign like that, it warns you that you have to start slowing down, which is perfect. Well, if you're a truck, it's still 80 here, so not really relevant for trucks because it's 80 even on the Autobahn, but for cars, that's going to be a big deal. I wonder what the speed limit for cars is on this area. And now we're entering the city limits, so it's going to be 50 for sure. Well, 70. And then probably 50. Yeah, it's a gradual decrease. So I remember in ATS, in the US, they have a sign which would say speed limit reduction ahead or something along those lines. Here, it's more subtle. You would get a sign, a yellow sign, showing that the place is not an Autobahn. You're leaving the Autobahn. Yeah, yellow signage. You'll get that sign which has like a cross, a diagonal line on the Autobahn sign, which says you're leaving the Autobahn. And then you get the speed limit changes. So it gives you a bit of a heads up. So this one is also complete. Speed limit signs, traffic light signs, all the signs you can think of, all the heads up you'll need. So as long as you're looking at the road and paying attention, you would know exactly what's coming and you can adjust your speed accordingly ahead of time. That is exactly what I am hoping for, because I've driven through roads in ETS2, the old roads which have no heads up at all. You're in a highway, suddenly there's a traffic light in front of you, and like the traffic light sign that says there's a traffic light coming is right there, like a few feet before, like where that blue car is. So like by the time you see the sign, you also see the traffic light, so what's the point, right? And you would have to like push hard on the brakes just to make it, just to avoid any clumsy trucking and incidents. But here, you get all the heads up you need as long as you are focusing on the road, which is what you should be doing every time anyway. I want to talk, right? Okay, let's park here. And then do I have enough money? Okay, so what we'll do, okay, maybe I figure out first where we're delivering this. Oh, we don't actually have a job. Yeah, we're only discovering the recruitment agency and the DAF dealer. How timely is that? And then I'll save the game. We'll try to purchase a garage just so we can check when that purchasing garage is unlocked, and then we'll see how to go from there. Can I make a U-turn here? After all, I'm one of you. Let's make use of the entire space. Yeah, I think it shouldn't be a problem. You can actually see inside the office there. You can see a couple of chairs and tables. It's nice. Didn't notice that before. And then yeah, you can see the sky. The sky looks pretty decent, not as high quality. So nothing has been done on that end so far, I think. But I mean, with DirectX 11, maybe. No promises. I don't have news from Kirill. But Kirill has been saying before that when DirectX 11 hits, then Natural Lux might come soon after, maybe after a month or so. So maybe Natural Lux is closer to the horizon than it was before. And that would mean amazing skyboxes. But yeah, nothing is final, so don't take my word for it, okay? 180k. Alright, let's do this. Let me save it. Let's do it for science. Save it. Loan something from the bank. Let's get 100k. I'll need to load that and then purchase the garage. So just checking. Yeah, garage purchase is over here. So it's still locked. Let me purchase it. There we go. Okay, now it's unlocked. So I guess, if I were to guess, I would say you would need 3 garages for this feature to get unlocked. Yeah, so for example, I get that. I can purchase it. I can pick from either small or large. So I don't have to buy it and then upgrade it. I can immediately say, give me the larger version, pay for that. And yeah, it's going to be the same price, which is 180 for the base and 100k for the upgrade. So you pay 280 from the get-go and you get the large garage. And I'm guessing you can purchase that and you can immediately teleport to that, because that's one of the garage features. Like if I wanted to go to Finland, Helsinki, I can travel there. So that should be possible now. That's amazing. Cool. Right, that's a great addition. And before I leave, there's one more thing. Might have noticed it before. Where can I apply it though? Okay, let's go. If for example, trailer manager, you can copy the config now in both trucks and trailers. And then you can pick paint job copy or full config copy, and then you list it will list the compatible trailers here. For example, if I go, it's not going to be a good example, but I can copy the config here. No, that's not the one. Maybe with the box liner. Okay, it doesn't work anymore. But maybe you get my point. Maybe not. Copy config. No, it has to be the same. But yeah, when you have like an entire fleet of DAF XFs, you can choose to copy the paint job only, or you can choose to copy the entire thing. And that's going to be a real, a much easier way of aligning your fleet. Right, so let me load it up and then we'll leave it there. So I hope you enjoyed this first look video of the experimental beta for 1.35. So far so smooth for us. A couple of bugs there probably, but I mean, we finished the episode, right? And everything is intact and performance has been amazing the entire time, so I have no complaints. Anyway, thank you for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed that one. If I missed anything, for sure I have. Let me know in the comments, but be nice, okay? Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Please don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button, comment, share with your friends, all that stuff. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day, and I'll catch you in the next episode where we will probably check out Sardinia. Or if you have other suggestions, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day, and Clumsy trucking, everybody. Catch you in the next episode, though. Bye-bye.